Hello and welcome back to the Muscle Car Appraisal Garage. Here's an update on our 1967 Chevelle SS project. We did some disassembly and we're going to show you what's been removed and how it was removed. I did not video the removal process, as there are many other videos out there that show the process, and I didn't want it to be monotonous, but I figured that I would show you what's been removed and how it was removed, a little different perspective. So under the engine compartment here, we have no fan and no fan shroud because they are over there. And the way that this was accomplished is there's 4 mounting holes in the shroud, 2 on each side, with a 1/2-inch socket. You're able to get the 4 bolts out. They screw into the flange here on the side of the radiator. That will allow the fan shroud to tip in this way. You're not going to get the fan shroud out with a fan on the car. Properly positioned fan sits halfway in the shroud, halfway out of the shroud. So then there are 4 bolts that hold the fan through the pulley and into the snout of the water pump. And in this particular case, this car has a spacer, which is put away in the box with the other parts that have been labeled. So you have 4 bolts that go through this, that go through the fan, through the spacer, and through this pulley. Actually, I can take this off, and you should be able to see in the snout there are 4 holes here. So that's where your bolts go. We'll just leave that off for ease right now. So you're going to tilt the shroud or move it forward so you can fit your hand behind here to get at these 4 bolts. Again, they are 1/2 inch, so you unscrew the bolts. You're able to bring the shroud back this way, get the fan out that way, or if you push the shroud far enough forward, you're able to sneak the fan out back here. And then once you get the fan out, you're able to pull the shroud out. So this shroud was broken here at the top. I kind of have a feeling somebody probably leaned on it because the car has good motor mounts. I know the engine did not torque over and break the shroud. Here's your 4 holes to put the bolts. Here's your centering hole that matches up with a big dowel on the center of the water pump. So you're going to do just the opposite to install this. You're going to drop the shroud in from the top. It's going to go down, and then you're just going to push it forward, kind of have it get over the alternator bracket, and it'll sneak in over there. You can position it so you can get the fan down in there and then put the fan bolts back on. Should put a little bit of Loctite on there when you tighten them up. Ultimately, what you're going to want to do is get them started, get them snug, and then the water pump is going to start to turn and the fan is going to want to turn. So you have a choice. You're either going to grab a hold of the fan and stop it from turning so you can tighten the bolts enough, or you're going to have to tighten the belt on the alternator enough where the pulley doesn't move, which then doesn't allow the water pump to move, so you can tighten the bolts. I prefer to put on a glove and hold the fan. In this particular case, you definitely want a glove because this is a flex fan and the edges are pretty sharp. Kind of get in there sideways with 2 hands, and just need to be careful. Also, the back side of the radiator here, all the cooling fins, everything is delicate, so you don't want to be jamming your hands in there and moving the fins, or you definitely don't want any type of a tool to crash into the radiator and potentially cause a leak. And then obviously you're going to put your 4 bolts back in. This is an overflow hose, and welcome to 1967, where there is no overflow reservoir and it just drains onto the ground. We removed the valve covers, and being a big block Chevy, it's got 3 bolts across the top and 4 down the bottom. You can see the holes here. Valve covers are over here. They're aftermarket reproductions, but they are quality pieces. They actually have drippers to drip oil onto rocker arms.